pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think it's the vent that's causing the homelessness.
You're not used to
It's
Daisy.
not the fan.
Well, used to where?
No. We've had air conditioning
Well, it's
problems.
usually hot when I sit over there.
You're in the hot seat.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the black robe on.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the regular session of the Lincoln County Commission, August 2nd, 2018. Members present are Darrell Baker, County Clerk, Phoebe Harless, Charles Vance, Commissioner, KK Matthews, Commissioner. First, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular session of the Lincoln County Commission that was held on July 5th at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So motion passes. And also, we need to approve the minutes of the special session that was held on July 19th at 5:30.
So moved.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, it doesn't look like we have anybody signed in under public comment. So, the first thing on the agenda, under discussion and action, is the Lincoln PSD board members. I guess it was at the July 5th meeting that we had the session. Is that right? Was it the 19th? I guess it was the 19th.
Right. No, it was the July 2nd.
Second.
Yeah.
And we already approved that. That we appointed the two interim board members. So, we accepted applications for 3 positions. You can see them listed. I've listed them out, for their terms because they have different, expiration dates on the term limits. So, there's 3. We got 5 applications, I think. Have you all had a chance to, look at the applications?
I have.
Okay. Well, do you want me just to go by term and we'll do,
Yeah,
okay, the term limit, that started October 6, 2016 and will end July 30th, 2019. Do I have a motion to appoint someone to that term?
I move we appoint Brent Essen.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So Brenda, you're back on till June 2019. Okay, then the next term is July 1st, 2015. Oh, no, that's not right.
That was the
That was the
shortest.
short term.
Yeah. You wanna-
Oh, should we?
It's all the same.
Well, not really, because the terms are different.
Discuss
That's all I'm saying, we just appointed Brenda for the 16th through the 19th. And we'll just appoint, the second one will be for the,
No, that was the unexpired term that she had to start with, so that was the same
Yeah.
term, that was a shortened term. I mean, the next time it'll go around, it'll be a regular, but to appoint someone to an out would be a
so
shorter.
what would be
The longest would be July 1st, 17 to June 30, 22.
Yeah, those were kind of an opposite. But you put them to expire first, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
So that was basically a partial term or unexpired.
Correct, correct, yeah.
Okay, well, do you want to start with the longest? Do you want to go back and retract that and?
I still don't understand. I don't understand. So October the 6th through the, from 2016 to
Was-
June 30th, 2019.
That was completing an unexpired term. To
Okay.
be honest, Brenda was on it to start with and had to quit during that time, and then we appointed Sam to finish this term.
Okay.
So it's only you're just finishing that term. The other ones are the full terms.
All right, so that should have said,
Well,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
should,
it could have went back from July 1st to 14,
okay.
right, 5 years, yeah, no, 6, but they're different, so 2 of them are 5 years and one's a 6-year term, I think.
Okay.
They're different terms.
I'm gonna go ahead and withdraw my second on that, because I was under the impression that was the longest term. I didn't look to see.
Well,
So
that's, yeah.
I withdraw my second to that motion.
They're different terms?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, they have staggered terms is what it is.
So everybody.
Yeah, I know, but 5, 5, and 6?
Well,
You'd,
okay,
you'd end up with,
these are the ones I got from the PSD when I started. So
Yeah.
I kinda thought they were odd as well, but I couldn't trace back to where, if you wanna make them all a 5, we clarify today or something
Well,
like
here's the
that.
thing, we can appoint from June 30th to 2020. We have one for June 30th, 2021, and then June 30th, 2022. Be
Okay,
another time.
Still staggered.
Instead
It's
of,
still staggered.
right,
So.
You wanna make the 19 or 20?
right.
that probably should have been because they start
Looks
the
like it should.
15th,
19,
16th,
yeah.
and 17th,
Because I
yeah.
think that's how, I mean, it's been years ago, but I went through every one of these terms. It's been a long time.
I think what's happened is people quit, maybe it's got mixed up or something, quit before.
So, the first one would be for the term of June 30th, 2020.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and second that.
That would be, and I was going to nominate Brenda Eskew for for the term
Ending.
ending June 30th, 2020.
I'll second
Okay. So we have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye.
that. Aye.
Okay, the next one would end.
In 21, June 30, 21.
Right.
And I think Ricky Wade's here, no one else is here, so I say we nominate Ricky Wade for that term, June 30th, 2021.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then the last term, I say that since Tim Quintrell decided that he would be an intern, I say that we will go ahead and put him in, and I'll nominate him for the term that expires June 30th, 2022.
Okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
There we go.
All right.
3 board members.
I don't understand them,
Well,
the expirations. You said mine ended 22?
When?
yours is going
20.
in 20.
I thought you said 22.
20.
June the 20th, June the 30th, 2020.
Then Ricky is 21
Then,
and Tim's 22.
and then here's the thing, what we need to do is we need to, get this information to the Lincoln PSD.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, now you know when everybody's going to expire.
And Brenda, let us let down your.
copy for yourself.
Keep it going.
We'll just have to appoint you 2 years again. She may be.
Well, if it's 20, yeah, just 2 years, okay. See, Bruce's was longer than that. He had like 6 more years.
I think his was
Bruce was the 22.
but
He
that would
got
have just been
appointed.
4 years.
Yeah, his was 6 years. His was 6 years.
I think they're
And
all,
we just-
You had just
they're
appointed
all
him.
6-year terms.
Yeah.
You had just appointed.
They're
him,
all
yeah.
6-year terms.
I don't think
These are the
so.
ones I get.
But here's the
That-
thing, it doesn't mean that they all have to expire on the same year.
No.
Even
Right.
though they're 6-year terms.
These are
So,
the ones
as
that
long
are
as
in
they're
the office.
staggered, that's fine. You get
These
somebody
are the
new
ones in the
every year if
office.
you want to.
Right.
These are the ones.
Somebody new,
Okay.
somebody with experience.
Brenda, do you feel like there's different dates over to the office for the
Yeah.
terms?
These are
Here's
the
the
dates I
thing.
got.
You got
Well,
new
now,
dates
I mean,
now.
previous dates I got, because I have to send them to the PSC every year. And this
Well,
is,
well, and if we have, as long as we're.
We got 3 board
Like
members.
Bruce was voted, he was
He
reappointed
was
this year.
one.
This year.
Yes, he was.
And so he had 6 more years.
this year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
We
appointed
just
him.
reappointed him.
He was the last one that we put on there.
His
I do know
expired.
that. Wasn't he?
Well, why don't we do this?
Sam was,
Here's the thing, why don't we just leave it like it is? We've already appointed 3 board members.
then we can check.
And then
next
here's the
one.
thing, you can check, if we need to do some type of addendum, we can do that.
Right, and
Term.
if we're, you know, if we,
I think that it's fine.
Do they-
2020, 2021, 2022.
Do they not come up every 2 years, is my question. In other words, Brenda would be 2020, Ricky would be 2022, and then
2024.
24 would be Quintrell.
I think it should be, ever since it's a 6-year term, it would be like our.
Like
terms.
yours, yeah.
Every 2 years, somebody would be.
So I think that's how it is on the Hamlin PSD that I'm on, I think.
See, when I started, these records were hard to follow.
Yeah.
And I had to send them to the PSD, and I had to match with them for a while, and I have to get it with the PSD. So these are, you know,
Then we had to, at one time, we had to call the Secretary of State.
yeah.
'Cause we
Well, that's
didn't
what I
have-
was gonna say about what we've done tonight. If we're have varied from what the code would say or something like that, we can always go back and correct it.
So that's the point now, I mean.
Because the term themselves, to me, can be set because the two new members are.
We got three new, basically.
Three new members basically aren't starting from July 1st, 2015 or July 1st,
Right.
2017 anyway.
Right.
So they're all starting somewhere in the interim for that. Then we can check and make sure we're within the code and things. If we're varied from that in any way, we'll just bring it forward to commission and get back in line with it.
All right, that sounds good. Mary, you all check Brenda and see what you
Yeah.
got and get. All
And
right.
that means he will have to be sworn in.
Yes, he will. I also wondered about swearing Brenda in again, since we swore her in just as
As an interim
a
before.
interim.
You can, and Ricky as well.
You want to do that?
I can.
We have
We'll just have
to,
Darrell do that now, swear you guys in, so we got it covered.
just to make sure, since it was.
I've got them,
Yeah,
I've got
that's
them.
pretty impressive.
Do you remember Brenda, or you want to?
I can read.
I mean, to have her sign it.
They can stay.
She can write it in there, yeah.
You stand, raise your right hand.
You go closer.
I thought he was like saying,
Sean's in the middle.
I,
I,
state your name,
Ricky Wade,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
of the office of the Lincoln PSD Board
of the office of the Lincoln PSD Board
to the best of my skill and judgment, so help me God.
to the best of my skill and judgment, so help me God.
Thank you. You guys want to sign yours? Go ahead and sign them.
let Brenda write her name in there. So she
Yeah.
knows it's hers. I didn't write your name real fast.
It's right here.
Mary.
If you all change your there, you will have your heads.
I'm going to put a cardboard over it or something.
You have the box thing over there.
Just sign
We appreciate
here.
you guys coming forward and doing this.
And since you're a pro at it, Brenda, you can actually fill
Okay.
yours out too. Just down to the signature, the rest of it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
I'll keep letting you know, Robert.
I'd like to accept, thank you all very much for coming forward and doing this for us, and thank you, Brenda. She's got us through the past month, her and Tim. I guess you all can just swear him in like you.
We'll send a blank, blank.
There we go.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the ESS bill for the voting machine. It's stuck on,
For $11,169.
Yes.
Right before that,
Did we-
right before that.
Well, you guys know
Oh, it's in this packet.
the HAVA grant, application is in there, and I've applied to get new election equipment with that grant. The application's there for you guys to look at, and, if you so deem necessary that we want to go ahead with the grant process, you guys can sign off on that, vote on that, sign off on that. But my suggestion on this ES&S election bill is to not pay the $5,546.25 portion of this, because that is for the IVO maintenance. We have just got maintenance done on those machines back in June, So if we're lucky enough to get that HAVA grant, if we go forward with that, and if we get that HAVA grant, we'll just be wasting our money because no maintenance will get done on those IVOs. If for some reason we don't receive the grant and don't get the machines, I think we can back up and pay this $5,000 later to keep the IVOs up to par. But I think we should pay the rest of us for the poll books. That's equipment that we're still going to use.
And the HAVA grant is listed under new business.
Yeah.
Yeah, the HAVA grant, I also gave Mary a copy of that grant, and it's listed under new business. I mean, if you want to talk about it now, or if you want to talk about it whenever.
So basically, what we need to do is have a motion to agree to pay this invoice minus the
Minus the
hardware maintenance, IBO Silver.
Yeah, the silver,
5,546.
yeah, the silver maintenance agreement, the $5,546.25, I would omit that and pay the rest.
I move that we pay $5,623 of the election system software bill.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, I second
Okay.
that.
We have a motion and a second to pay this bill minus the $5,546.25. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do you need a motion to sign the,
It's under new business.
Okay.
It's under new business. My papers are blowing everywhere up here. Okay. The next thing on the agenda is Hamlin Fire Department truck payment. One day last week, this invoice that is attached, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, was brought up to the commission office and was, they asked us if we could pay it. And this was the past, it's paid quarterly, so this $13,350 is for the quarter, for a new fire truck that they purchased. This invoice was for a past due amount that was due in June that hasn't been paid. So, I put it on here because I wanted to know what you all thought we should do about it.
Do we have to go to the audit?
No, we do not, we have not received their audits.
does the levy say that we need to have an audit in order to start dispersing any levy monies?
Mary, help me on that. It does, but last year, probably, well, I'll say probably close to 2 years ago, we sent out letters to all the fire departments. I think you were president when we did that, saying that we had to have audits, we had to have their audits. So we got most of them, there was still some out. We sent another letter saying we had to have the audit or we were gonna hold the money, which we can do that. We were gonna hold the money until we got the audit, hold their levy money, and we gave them till July 1st of last year. So we still have not received Hamlin's audit. We've been holding their money for a year. So I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like, I don't want to see them lose this fire truck because, the people in Hamlin need fire service. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the audit, but they need fire service, and I would hate to see them lose it.
Do we have an audit prior to last year?
We have not got an audit since 2012. Well, do we have 13s? We have 13s. So we do not have one for 14, 15.
Oh, no, we don't have that.
I didn't
13,
think-
14, 15, 16, yeah.
Okay.
So we have not got an audit since 2013.
So they're not in compliance with the code as
No.
far as what the levy says that they need to do.
No.
And I think if we would act knowing that without getting the opinion of the prosecutor, we might want to go ahead and get the opinion of the prosecutor on this as far as whether it's appropriate for us to pay this and what we should do about helping the fire department get their audit in line and get it to the commission so that they can be in compliance with what the levy policy is.
Okay.
So,
See if it's appropriate to pay it directly to the
Right.
financing company.
well, yeah, because I tell you, not only are we looking at them being in non-compliance for the past year, we're looking at non-compliance for all those other years. And one of the concerns I always have when we don't, of course, it's a matter of what we have to do. This is what we're required to do as the fiduciary of this money is to do that. And if we've known this and we've kept trying to help them get to where they need to be and they're still not there, then I think we need to look at what legal remedies to make sure that we're within what our authority is to do, and to also find out how we can help them or compel them to make sure they follow what the call of the levy is. Because people vote on these things and, and they expect their monies to be looked after, and if we don't have an audit, we don't have any way of knowing what's happening, so.
I agree. I mean, I do. I think that is probably the thing we should do, because I will, give this to him, give him an update to the prosecutor, see what he thinks we should do, what's our course of action. But the reason, we held the money for a year is because, like you said, they weren't complying. They had to prove where the money was spent. So, but if we, if he tells us that it's all right, since we're paying this directly to them, we know where it's going.
Because I think historically, and having dealt with this a little bit last time, we've been, as far as I understand, I may be incorrect, but the accountants that have looked at this have been unable to piece it together.
Yeah.
So that bothers me. And so I think we need I'll go ahead and give a motion that you go ahead and contact the
Okay.
prosecutor about that and give us some direction as far as what he feels we need to do, not only in paying these things directly to the company, but to be able to get the fire departments, because the other fire department, the Hearts is already in everything, aren't they? I mean, did they not have theirs in?
I just got theirs in.
Okay, but were they behind other years and
Yeah,
things like that?
they were behind a little bit. yeah.
Okay.
But is that a motion to pay pending the prosecutor?
That's what,
Well, I would rather wait till the next meeting to see what he says, because I think, I don't think they'll take the truck in a month, because we just got this month, didn't we?
well, it was due the 30th of,
But I did just get it, yes, but it
Yes.
is.
I mean,
it
when
was
it
due,
comes,
it was due in June.
Yeah.
This amount they're showing on here says on bill here past due,
Yeah.
amount past due is this amount.
is that the monthly payment?
It's quarterly.
Thanks.
So they're behind the quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we just get it, I just really think, guys, we ought to go ahead and ask the prosecutor how to progress.
I agree. I think there's we need to know about the legality of doing this, because this is levy money.
So the way I understand it, we're entrusted with making sure that the audit's getting in, but make sure the money's dispersed correctly and things. And if it's been this many years and we haven't got it, then I think we need that done. And then, if for some reason there winds up being problems with it, then we can go ahead and identify those problems and do what's appropriate otherwise. But I'll motion we go ahead and approach the prosecutor about this particular problem and see if he can give us some remedy.
I think it's the way to go.
All right, that's what we'll do. I'll get this to him and
We'll
get
go
him
ahead
the,
and-
oh, okay.
I'll make the motion.
We've got a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will do that, and then at the next meeting, Mary, put it on there and
Yeah.
unfinished business, and
Okay.
I'll let you guys know when I find out.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, this next item of business is the annex with the Department of Ed.
I recuse myself because I work for the Office of
How
Version
about,
and
how
Transit.
about the resignation?
Oh,
guess you
I
can do
see
them in
that.
that
I didn't
order.
see it. Okay, let me go back to the resignation here. I've scribbled on this one, I skipped one. The next one is actually to accept the resignation of Janet Limble. She turned in her resignation
I did.
on July 3rd, but it was effective July 15th. You didn't get it that day?
Not on July 3rd, no.
Okay, well, I think they brought it in on a Wednesday before a commission meeting, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
So it'll be effective July
effective
15th.
July 15th. So do I have a motion to accept her resignation effective July 15th?
So,
Second?
Got a motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Okay, the next thing I wanted to ask you guys what you wanted to do. Do we want to run ads for her position? Is that what he's got? He brought a letter over to the office, somebody did under the door. One's from Rex Clark, the chief, and then one's from the sheriff, requesting that we hire the position of just tax deputy. But I think that he is going to hire someone to work the window.
Yes.
Maybe move one of those girls back.
Yeah, Sarah needs supposed to go back and Gina's making Janet's.
Okay. So Gina, who works back in the back with Janet's taking her place. Then one of the girls that work out front is going back to Gina's place, and then he wants to hire somebody to work front. But, I think he's already been advertising on his Facebook page, and he said he was taking applications till August 24th. So, do we want to advertise, or are we okay with
How is,
I don't know.
because there's gonna be a differential in what Janet was paid and what the new girl will be paid, right?
Well,
This
but
is,
you-
in,
oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Mayor. In the letter that he's attached, actually, it's the one from Rex. He has put in here Gina's new salary.
Which is exactly Janet's new salary.
Janet's old
Yes, old salary.
Janet's old salary, right.
And
So,
then he hasn't really said what it doesn't say in here.
How much
what-
increase in pay is that for her?
$9,000.
Yeah. And he's apparently done this already.
I guess, yeah.
So she's gonna be taking Janet's job?
Right.
Okay, so he's hiring Gina.
Well,
No.
Sarah's taking Gina's job, so he's actually
He's
hiring
hiring Sarah.
Sarah's job, correct.
But he hasn't got on here what he's going to be paying that person.
Well, I was just wondering, because, you know, we're still looking for someone to serve papers on, so. I mean, is that not?
I mean, he hasn't got anyone to do that.
Well, that's
so-
what I'm wondering is, you know, why you would increase one's salary $9,000. And I can understand doing extra work and things like that too, but if there was some way to, if you look at some way to save some money with that, with the resignation, I mean, with the way the deputy situation is. So I know with, one of the magistrates made comment that, they had to continue cases because that I wouldn't pay for, somebody to serve papers. And my concern is this money being used as wise to have one walk into a job that Janet done, that she's been doing for years, and had other expertise when she had got the job when she was hired, because I was around when she was hired. And then you just take the secretary off the front desk and increase her salary $9,000 to me. If there was some other way, you know, if he had more, I don't know if he could use for his permit money, whether he could hire anybody in a position to serve papers or not. To me, you know, well, but I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, I just wonder if there's a better way. And, you know, it's up to the commission what they do, and I'll go along with it, but to me, it doesn't seem like a very smart way to try to get, if you've got to settle your most pressing needs first. And are we in the middle of tax collections now, or?
No, it's going to start off.
September.
In September, but,
That's when is that when they have to pay fines or something?
no, that's when it starts.
September is usually
When it
when
starts.
everybody comes in,
Yeah.
before they get published.
Because it's,
Is anybody in the back that worked with Janet can do the job that Janet did?
That's what
Gina's
Gina
doing it.
is.
Gina is.
Gina worked back there with Janet, and he has moved her into Janet's and
Right.
paid her the $31,000.
Gina-
Oh, okay, so she, and then, well, who was-
Sarah, and Sarah and Amanda work the front. Janet and Gina work the back.
Okay.
So now Gina's over there with
And
Janet.
that's who's supposed to get the $9,000 raise?
Right, even, right. But the other, all her, Sarah,
She's technically doing what she's doing before, which,
Well, she did a little different things, but
what?
anyway.
$9,000 is a lot of different things, that's where the.
But-
Well, because I tell you, one of the problems you're gonna get into also is other employees of the,
well,
I guess, courthouse.
yeah, cause, and well, even in that office, I think you might wanna watch, because Gina, Sarah, and Amanda, Gina was last hired in, I do believe.
You know, this is the problem that I have felt like we've had here, and it's none of our faults, it's just, I don't know how you fix it. You know, when you do a budget, as you all know, you allocate this money. That's kind of, once you say, the sheriff's department or the county clerk, here's your X amount of dollars. Then if somebody quits, you kind of, you really don't, we don't have control over that money anymore once we allocate it. So,
Well,
but then when when people quit mid-year and that money's allocated, you know, there's differences of difference of salaries in this courthouse is huge. There should be some way an entry-level salary. When people are hired on,
Entry level experience,
Yes.
entry level pay.
when you are a new employee and you start in one of these offices, there should be an entry-level salary. Because, you know, depending on if you go to work in the assessor's office or your office or the sheriff's office, you're starting in at a different salary. I mean, it's really, I don't know how you fix that.
well, there's
Because
really.
once we've allocated the money.
According to code, as far as I understand it, once they get the money in there, they can do what they want
Right.
to.
You have to have buy-in from your offices in order to do something like that.
But you know, we
You
had,
know, you understand what I'm saying? Everybody has to buy into the same thing.
but, you know, historically, you know, we've had problems when somebody left, they divide up the amount of monies between all the remaining employees, and when you go to the next year, they technically get a reduce in pay because they were sharing other people's salaries. But that's the way the law works. I mean, that's the way it can be done. But it puts you in a bad situation, I think, you know, watching after monies to be able to, you know, but my concern is just like I say, you know, I don't want, you know, I wonder how the sheriff's approaching the problem with the process server, because we're talking about part of the judicial process, and, you know, some of that may cost us money because people may be sitting in jail that need things done and things, so I just don't, you know, I think that it might have been thought through better maybe, I don't know, but I just, and I agree that, you know, if that's what he would want to do, then I think he has the money in there to do it. And it kind of goes along the
There's been
line.
times when there's only been 3 tax deputies operating that office.
Well, and that's the other thing, that
I mean, you know,
if you're concerned about law enforcement in Lincoln County and making sure that the judicial process works, I don't know this is the way to go about it. I mean, I don't see that this is going to help him get anywhere to where he can solve that problem. But I haven't talked to him about it. I don't know what his thinking is about it, so I don't really want to. I'm just trying to look at any time we have the opportunity to better serve the public, we need to serve the public better. And I don't know that this particular type move does that. You know, and I can see all kinds of problems with personnel, like you say, in the office, and not only in the office, but at other offices too.
Well, I've heard it today. I mean, there was complaints from another office that they were gonna come to the meeting and complain that, you know, and I said, there's
But you know, you have said, and I've had them talk to me too, some of the people talk to me.
less operating money, you need to think more
Right,
practically.
right, and, you know, the only thing we have to look at is, you know, I mean, I think you have to pretty well do what he wants to do. I mean, there's not, you know, you don't have a lot of choice when it comes to those type things, but I just don't think it was very well thought out. I really don't. I don't think there was any, alternative way of doing things thought of. Of course, we'll have to address that at the next meeting in March when we, look at the budget and things like that.
when I started, Daryl had 5 girls and doing elections, plus his, you know, Cheryl does all of our type of payroll and
Six
everything.
employees once upon a time
Yeah.
with the grant employee.
And now, well, that was,
3.
now you have 3, and plus, you know, that's including the elections, he has 3.
We
So,
lost 2 employees, Guy's office lost 2.5.
Charles Brumfield's down to 3, I mean, we've cut across the board, but I don't know.
Well,
So,
we had the assessor got cut, what, 12% this fiscal year,
Right.
and the sheriff's office got cut, 15% this fiscal year.
Yep.
I don't know, it's just, I just think that, you know, I don't know, to me, you know, I think as I've said before, even things that I'd really like to support, sometimes you can't because you don't have the money, and I just think that personnel is a lot of the monies we deal with here, as far as what we spend and things like that, and I just don't think that when you sit down and look at the numbers and crunch the numbers, is, you know, there's a possibility you could have got a process server out of that. So, but anyway.
okay, back to the, do you want to, do you all think we need to run an ad to advertise for this, and just?
Well, I don't
think.
think, we don't choose, so I don't know, you know.
Just put the, because he says that he is accepting applications to August 24th, and just,
Well, maybe ask him if he
I
wants
think
to.
he may be running a print ad.
Yeah.
oh, he's already contacted.
I think he's
you.
contacted us for a price.
Yeah.
Someone has.
Right, well,
That's good.
that money's in his budget, so. Why don't we just leave it at that, because
Okay.
we won't have any input into who hires her and say, okay, or
Okay,
find something wrong with
so
it.
we've accepted her resignation. So now on to the annex over here. The Department of Education has contacted us, and it is the, KK's gonna have to help me, the office.
It's the
of
Office of Diversion and Transition Programs, ODTP. I work for them, so I recuse myself on this issue.
Okay, but they contacted us, oh gosh, when was that, Doc? A couple months ago. and they were interested in some space at the church. They came over and looked, and initially they wanted the space downstairs where we have the election center set up. But, you know, that was gonna cause a little bit of problem, I think, with the storing of our machines and stuff. So anyway, they came back this week and looked at two of the there were Sunday school classrooms that's on the second floor. And they felt like that would be fine, that that's what they need. I think, KK, do they have to have a room and then another room to lock stuff up in or something, maybe?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
want,
That they're-
I think so.
they want a classroom
depends
and
on
then
what they
like
wanna do in
an
there.
office where they can lock up their video equipment and their computer stuff.
Okay, so the two rooms up there would work out for them.
I think there was a restroom up there.
There is, yeah. They want
Like a little kitchen.
They want those, I mean,
Okay, so, I mean, I myself don't see a problem with them doing that, but now, they didn't come till Tuesday, so we don't have any kind of contract or anything worked up with them. They, have agreed to pay the their internet bill, just like the, public defenders has. So then we would pay the electric, water, gas, and they would pay the internet and phone. So-
Will they reimburse us for anything or anything? like
Well,
that?
that's what we've really gotta hash out
they
here.
will also, any work they're gonna do in those classrooms, they'll do
They'll
for
do.
free, they'll pay for the paint themselves. And then even that, ramp, because it's actually on the sanctuary floor there, if they had it, to make it handicap accessible, they're gonna look at rebuilding that ramp or fixing that ramp up again. It's the carpentry class at high school, but the person over them is a licensed contractor, so,
So anyway, what do you think about
Oh,
rent?
sure.
yeah, they got it.
Well, I just think, go ahead.
I was thinking maybe we should ask them, and if they think it's too much, we can negotiate it. Hopefully, we can get something figured out and have a contract at the next meeting to sign.
Let me just ask something as far as, because I've been working with Judge Salmons about that area. What's the commission, how does the commission want to proceed on with that?
Okay, this is what I told them. We can legally only enter into agreements for a year. So if we would enter into an agreement with them for a year, then that one, we could see where we are on our courthouse facilities grant, what the Supreme Court, because it's going to take a while for us to get our monies lined out. I don't think we're going to be starting in the next year.
Right.
Well, and then that puts you another 6 to 8 months of the next year before you get to working it up, right?
Well, because we're going to have to do things to meet there once we,
Right.
because I think part of the grant isn't even really due till next summer.
Right.
So we would be all of this.
Just inform the commission, I don't know if I'll copy it, but I had discussions with Judge Hope and Judge Salmons and Jay Report and several different people at one time. And we tried to work out a short-term solution and a long-term solution. And this is following Judge Hope's recommendations and what we decided. Time one was we do what we had to do right now and then work toward going ahead and doing this over there. So I have no problem, if you want to get the contract, see if they're willing to come up with something that, and I don't think it has to be a whole lot, you know what I mean? But I do think that we need to get in a situation where, because then the guys downstairs are going to be saying, we're paying $1,000 a month, for this, this, and this. And
Well, they have more rooms, and we
Right.
pay for the remodel
Right.
over there. They're
But I would like, in the meantime, Mr. President, if you could talk with Judge Hope and see what he thinks about it.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to think that the commission has changed their long-term plans, and we can explain the situation to him, see if he's in agreement with it. Because I do know that he was very energetic about it. And but I think that we can see where he's at. I don't know, I haven't talked to him about it. But if you'll go ahead and talk to him about it in the meantime, to get the contract, then bring it up, we can do this next meeting.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this program doesn't, if I'm understanding, run on the calendar school year necessarily,
Yeah, that's
so,
a different count.
so it's not,
Probably not pressing.
I think we
Do
can
we
wait
need
till
to,
the next.
do you want anything tonight as far as?
No,
that?
I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to talk to you and tell you what was going on with
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
So I don't think I need anything, but I will,
Yeah, and if you-
we'll work up something. I'll work up something with them and have them to do some kind of contract before the next meeting, then we can look at it.
Do you have any problems with it?
There'll be a floor up for me, so no, I'm fine with, you may just also want to discuss what their physical needs are as far as, you know, locks needing change and stuff
I
like that.
really think they do all right, but she told me they will do,
Does
they
that-
will even collect the
how-
trash and hand it out in Randy each day. The kids have to, correct me if I'm wrong, Peggy, they have to kind of earn their
I'm
own keep.
completely secure from the rest of the building.
Okay, so, yeah, what I'm
They will.
questioning, you're supposed to have two locks between you and.
He does, they're upstairs, so they, well, no,
You
the
see what I'm
stairs.
saying? When they come in the front door, they're only gonna have one lock between them and the machines.
Do you lock that
No.
swinging door?
Yeah, the swinging door will be locked.
Okay,
And
and
then,
then the lock
on
then
that.
there's a machine room too with double locks.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay, because I think you have to have two locks, don't you? At least two locks. I
Double
come
lock.
through double.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's actually, that's part of our county security
Right,
policy
right.
that we turn in yearly to the Secretary of State.
yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
And then if you could talk to Jay and see.
I will, and see,
What he
and I'll
thinks
tell
about it.
him.
He probably may not have a problem with it. I just know we were,
Well, you're right, we don't want him to think we're wanting to do
exactly.
other things.
We want the judges to know everything we do ahead of time, so.
Okay. That's all under discussion and action. There was no unfinished business. Have you had a chance to look at the new business?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the new business?
So moved.
Okay,
Second that.
okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Okay, there's a couple things that I wanna talk to you all about before we adjourn. That's kind of came in after Tuesday. Okay, the Hearts Community Center Board. I think currently we have only 3 people on the board. 2 people are active members and one is sort of inactive because he's working out of town. So they have two active members. I know this is a problem because they tried to have a meeting the other night and, they don't even have a quorum. So I went back and looked and there was 10 members on the board. When was that, Marion? 14, I
Yeah,
think there was.
December 14th.
10 members total. So actually, today, we got 2 applications in the commission office for 2 people. And then I understand that there's going to be 2 more people apply. So that would be 4 people, and we have 7 openings, so I think we need to get this board back
Yeah,
operational.
I took several blank applications up to Arts.
And that's what they called me Tuesday
Okay,
night.
okay, because I think there is a degree of interest among the younger people up there.
Yes.
And especially, I take my grandson up to some impact basketball training by Paul Williamson, and I gave several of the blank applications to him and asked about him getting his family and things like that. There's some other people that want to make sure that the facilities are available to the kids for things like that and stuff. So I think, but if we had an application period.
Well, we have advertised when, oh gosh, not when Bertha Haas, but prior to, Sean, we didn't advertise when the last 2 people quit, did we? I don't
No.
think.
No, I think we had like Billy Fry here.
But-
I mean, it's been a while.
No.
But we had
Okay.
advertised when the last batch quit. We advertised and we didn't get any applications.
Right.
So now we have 2, and then these 2 guys told me they would bring out before the next meeting, so we at least have 4 people now that I think are interested. Do you all think we should just,
I don't think we need to.
Since we are- I don't
Yeah, I don't
either,
think we
since-
need to advertise anymore, and I think word of mouth's working a lot better up there than, now that they know that the facility probably will close without proper governance and things. I think that we can just, we can review those applicants and
okay,
approve, if we see that they're fit to serve and things like that. We can approve those and then still leave it open-ended until they max out, until they get to that number that they need to be. And I really think that they have some really good ideas. I talked to some of the people that I hadn't talked to in a long time, and they have several, they're still wanting to do the fall festival up there, and there's some of them wanting to get a 3-on-3 ball tournament so they can make monies off that and things. So there's a lot of new blood getting excited about it up there. So I think it's best if we can, as soon as we can approve the ones that are before us, then do that, and then leave it open, and, because I know that there's more than them that's interested, because there's been several people that are really interested. And I think it really is exciting, because it is a lot of people that care about the kids and things like that, so I really think that they'll do a good job and things of that nature. And I'm not aware of who applied, but I mean, I do know that several of the people I've talked to have been really interested and have really good ideas about things. So I don't think we need to re-advertise, but like I say, we can go ahead and approve it so they can go ahead and have meetings and stuff. But
Okay, well, Mary, let's put it on the next agenda. We have 7, we checked and we have 7 positions. So let's put it on the next agenda. We'll get the applications we have by the next meeting. We can look at them
Yeah.
and get that back
Sounds
on.
good.
Okay? Okay, one more thing. The Department of Highways had a District 2 meeting this week. And here is it was for the fiscal year 2017-18 budget, and it's got, the breakdown of their monies, how it's distributed in the region, and projects that are pending. Hey, if you. Sean, I've got you.
Oh, thank you.
You can look that over. All righty. So I thought I would that to you. And that's all I have. I do have one question. Do you have anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add, Doc, before we get to that? Because we have a question about the time of the next meeting, but we'll.
No, that's the only thing that I was gonna say is I would be able to make you
Okay.
first.
Okay, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I got some information from T-Mobile. There's 11 sites that are going to be served in Lincoln County. 4 of the 11 sites are online right now. In the next, I got an email on this.
Now, what, 11 sites?
What
There's
does
11 sites
What does online, like?
on air.
Ready?
Okay, on air.
They're working?
Yes.
Do you know where those 4 are?
Yes. It is right off McCorkle, Allen Creek. There's 2 in Allen Creek, and as you are going up Samaritan, there's a very small.
Is that the small tower you're saying?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a jump.
Oh, okay.
So, in the next, let's see, in the 4th quarter of 2018, they're estimating that there will be 4 more sites that will come online. And in the 1st quarter of 2019, there will be 2 more sites. And the 3rd quarter of 2019, there will be the last site that will come online.
Are any of them over on Route T?
Oh, yeah, I was getting ready to share it with you.
How many was in the 3rd quarter there? What was the last one?
The 3rd quarter is the last one, yeah. that will
Just
come
one
on.
there?
Yeah, just
Okay,
one.
sorry.
So, looking at, one in, service in Salt Rock, a service for the Hamlin area up Route 34, also Route 34, West Hamlin, Ranger, and Harts. Okay? So that's kind of what the schedule is that they have.
Which quarter is the one in Parks?
Harts is 1st quarter of 2011.
Hey, can you get a copy of that and send it, or email
Well,
it to Mary?
it's kind of like, I can send it to you, but it's kind of like you're not supposed to like,
Oh.
share pictures and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you can, you can look at it and stuff like that, but as far as like
Putting it out.
sharing, like, I guess, this exact same thing is probably not good. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that you can, I was gonna send it to Sean, let him look at it, and, maybe he could do a story on it. You don't have to use the exact same images, but the thing about it is it would be helpful for people to understand that, you're gonna have service in your area at this particular time. One of the hardest parts with T-Mobile is like the retail, where do you go to get a phone that's compatible with T-Mobile, where do you get, service? I think what we found is that, you can call them, and they also sell stuff at Best Buy, which you can use. So, but anyway, it's, comfortable. Y'all can look at it if you want.
Smaller, so it's like smaller carriers may use T-Mobile or.
Well, I don't know that.
prepaid.
I know that T-Mobile and Sprint are merging. So I'm sure that if you have Sprint,
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah,
you'll
that'd
be
be a
able,
big deal.
that would probably
Yeah,
work there.
that's a
I
big
mean, what
deal.
I'm saying is like, you know, don't like, well, KK said that Sprint's going, I mean, what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I'm sure that they're gonna make that compatible.
Yeah.
Okay, like what's in the green here, what does that, that's the,
Those are the ones that are on,
so this one is working already?
That's, yes. But whenever it says that, like whatever it says, like that's not necessarily where it's at, that's just what they put up on. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So that probably Samaritan. You understand what I mean?
Oh, you think it is?
I know it is, because I was right here to the picture.
Well, what about the Yawkey Tower?
Well, that would come online, in the fourth quarter, that's one of them.
I don't know why, but after that meeting that we went down, me and Mary attended down there with,
Joe Manchin.
Joe Manchin's people, I can actually get cell service. At times, there's been days I could get it all the way to Branchland Bridge as opposed to it always ending at Fall Creek. I don't know if they've contacted and boosted the signal
Those
or have
numbers right
adjusted
there,
the signal.
those numbers
but
correspond.
I mean, it's not great,
So
but
whenever
I,
you see
I've
something like
had
this,
phone calls that
635,
I went all the way to Branchland Bridge with.
All right, 635A's right here, that's not, this is where Yawkey is. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not.
This
on
one's
here.
on there, this one's on there.
Alright. But they're coming across the county and they're coming up. But I mean, you know, I just say, you know, it's been a lot of work.
Well, I think it's important that people have some idea at the time too, because that's always a concern. Of course, having said that, we always want to
You know, it's
say
great,
it's
but it's-
information that we have available
Something you
now.
can't use.
It's a very sensitive topic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, papers got burned before for making a promise that,
Well, I mean,
You know.
here's the thing, this is just projections.
I know.
Yeah, well,
This is
that's
projections.
the comment I just made was the fact that this is the information that the commission has at this time. And maybe, and just like with getting funding for water projects, you know, we can anticipate when things will be done, but sometimes it don't always occur that way. And it doesn't have anything to do with us because.
So, yeah, whenever you're saying fourth quarter, that is, you know, that could be from, you know, October, November, December, September, October, November, December.
No, the dates I'm not worried about. It's the, like you didn't mention Branchland at all, and Branchland is
Well, that, I was
Huge.
considering that, like, you know, I'm just looking at the map, and
Okay.
I'm trying to find, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this looks to me like it's, you know,
right.
West Hamlin, which is probably more of Branchland.
So is there? So are T-Mobile going to hook on to the Yawkey County Tower?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, 100%.
Well, and just a comment, this is a nebulous comment because I don't have anything down yet, but we were also looking at other things that might be available on our team, so.
Okay.
And I've not really talked to KK about it, so, and I don't really know enough about it really to go into it in enough detail, but I should know more here shortly, so.
Okay.
But it was just the lady contacted me, and she gives me updates on this. Because I mean, I've got work with her, and she shared this with me. I thought that, you know, it's kind of important that people know. I've been working on this for a long time.
Mary, is
See
there-
if you remember, Branchland was discussed in the
Well, I got-
meeting.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
You did, but
But if you don't, I'll send you the information, you can look at it, and you'll be able to pinpoint.
these
Yeah.
are just
You
two.
know what I'm saying? So whenever I say West Hamlin,
There's three.
probably mean Branchland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
All this wind. Okay. Our next meeting, I'm gonna try to sign this and talk, is September 6th, and it was scheduled for 6. Doc cannot be here, correct? So KK has asked if we can, and I don't have a problem with it, if we could have the meeting at 3:30 on that day instead of 6. And that might be better to have it through the day, and it would give people, maybe different people,
That's fine,
Yeah,
I just, that evening would be very cumbersome for me,
Okay.
so I'd like to do it early.
Okay, so
September sixth at 3:30.
at 3:30 instead of 6. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn until our regular session on September 6th at 3:30?
So,
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we stand adjourned until the 6th of September.